Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is skincare, hair care and makeup specifically designed for older faces. Today I have my lovely model Pam with me, who with her friend Carol won a competition to both as friends to come and have their makeup done, and you might already have seen Carol's video which we have a link to below this, but today and now it is Pam's time for her makeover. Pam is 76 years old. She has a beautiful skin, beautiful hair. I'm very, very envious. And so we're going to do a fairly neutral-ish, quite light makeup look, which is what you like, isn't it, today? And hopefully you'll get a few hints and tips and be able to see some colours as I apply them. So let's get started. I have, as I did with Carol, we have prepared your skin and we've used some moisturiser and let that sink in. We use the SPF 50 plus serum, then we use the day cream and have let that sink in before applying makeup. So it's really important when you're doing your own makeup to do your skincare and maybe brush your teeth, do your hair, get dressed. Give your skincare a little bit of time to sink in before you actually start the makeup application process, and you'll find it goes on much better than going straight in with your makeup. So the first product that I'm going to use on Pam today is our lovely face prime, Smooth Like Silk face prime. And this is something that I use every single day underneath my foundation. It's brilliant as a primer for older faces because it will do certain things. It will fill in any fine lines and any open pores and just smooth everything over so that when you then apply your foundation or your Light Look Beauty Balm, it's going onto a really super smooth base. Because as we get older, our skin becomes a little bit more like blotting paper, and if you just apply foundation directly onto older skin, you'll find it kind of grabs in certain areas, goes a little bit blotchy, patchy, doesn't last. Whereas this product really helps to keep that foundation on all day, going on smooth. You don't have to then worry about your foundation at all. So really lovely product. Take a couple of pumps of the product. It's clear, colourless, as I said, it doesn't smell, and as it goes on, it just is like it says on the tin. It feels like silk. If you've not used this product, it's incredible. So I'm just going to put that all over. I don't put it on the eyes or the lips, but I put it where I'm going to be putting my foundation. And I tend to use fingers for this, whereas I use brushes for nearly everything else, but this is, and when you put it on, I'll get you actually, just to feel your face with it on. You'll see what I mean. It does feel just like silk. Just have a little feel of the side of your face with that, with your fingers. You'll see what I mean.
Oh yes.
It does, doesn't it? It's an incredible product. Yeah. Once you've used it, you just think, oh, how did I live without this product? So I'm going to apply our beautiful foundation, which is called Continuous Cover Foundation, and I'm going to use the shade 2.5 on Pam. This has got coconut oil and vitamin E. It's really hydrating. It gives good coverage, but it's still light. It's not mask-like. So if you're worried about foundation being heavy and cakey, this is a really good one. I like to use it with a little bit of extra primer. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit onto my hand, like so, and then add, although I've used the primer all over Pam's face, with this product, I like to add a tiny bit of primer to it as well. I'm using the foundation brush number 10. We do two foundation brushes. We do foundation brush number 10 and foundation brush number 7. No, not number 7, number 3, which is a slightly more contoured one, but I quite like this one for a really lovely airbrushed look. So let's start in the middle. This is a fantastic colour. If you're not sure which colour, we do a really good quiz on our website, which is like a colour matching quiz for foundations. And we also have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can order one. If it's not right, you can just get another one, send it back. So it's fantastic. So, but this is great. And it should be the colour that we tested this on Pam's jawline. It's the colour that doesn't show. You don't want a line. So what I'm going to do now with Pam is I'm going to use a little bit of concealer just to give that little bit of extra help in areas that maybe you want that bit of extra help. So pigmentation, which we all get as we get older. This is a really nice creamy concealer, so it doesn't sit in fine lines, as a lot of concealers do. A lot of concealers are quite drying. And I'm going to use a lovely flat concealer brush number 4. Pam said she liked to have a reasonable coverage, so we could have used the Light Look Beauty Balm, but we've used the Continuous Cover, which, although it's a good coverage, it's not, none of the foundations are heavy, so you won't, hopefully it doesn't feel like you're wearing heavy foundation. I hate that feeling of a mask. Should still feel, does it feel nice and light still?
Very much.
Good. We're just going to put a little bit into the inner corner of your eyes. And just a little bit, I'm going to sort of stipple it into just the under eye area. Just here. If you've got sort of puffiness under the eyes, don't put concealer onto the puffy area because that will bring that forward even more. Just put it into the sort of the darker, slightly indented bit. And then just tap with your finger so that the warmth of your finger will melt the concealer into the foundation and you're not dragging at the eye area. This finger can do the least sort of damage, least pressure. So that's the one I always use for eye creams or for putting on concealer, my ring finger. What I'm going to do now is to set the foundation with a really super finely milled powder, our translucent powder. It only comes in one shade, it's translucent, so it suits everybody. I'm using my big powder brush number 1 and just dusting it over, and that will just set everything that we have done and keep it in place. Sometimes also I like to use my eyeshadow brush. I just keep a clean eyeshadow brush number 7 for putting on powder in spot areas like underneath the eyes, just to give you that little bit of extra help just here. You can just put it onto places of concealer just to add that little bit of extra help, bit of extra powder, and then just dust off the excess. That will just keep everything in place. Always good to put some powder before bronzer because then the bronzer won't stick to, particularly if you've used neck cream, moisturiser. If you then just go straight on with bronzer in this area, it will kind of grab at it. So a bit of powder will stop that happening. It won't then look patchy. I'm now going to start on the eye makeup process. And the first product that I'm going to use on Pam is Smooth Out Eye Prime. This is a really clever product that you notice I didn't put the primer on your eyes, and I didn't put foundation actually on your eyes because this product does everything for us. It's a primer, and it also will cover up any little fine discoloration you might have. As we get older, our eyelids get thinner, so you don't need very much at all. About that much, no more than that. I'm using my concealer brush number 4. I've just wiped off on a tissue the excess concealer that I had on there, so it's clean. And I'm just going to apply this product all over Pam's eyelids. A little goes a long way, and it's really important when you do this that your eyelids are dry and that they are free from any oil, particularly if you've used an oily eye makeup remover the night before. Just make sure that you've wiped them over. It works much better if they are oil-free. I just use a little bit on my finger. Just if it goes bitty, it means that there's probably still a little bit of oil on there. So this will cover up any little fine veins so that your eyeshadow will go on as a nice true colour, but it will stop it from creasing. That's what's so brilliant. If I don't put my eye primer on, by the end of the day, my eyeshadow has definitely started to crease a little bit. But if I put it on, it doesn't move. What I'm going to do now is to apply two of our beautiful non-shimmer eye shades on Pam. And the first colour I'm going to use is Rose Gold, which is a really pretty neutral colour. You can use it warm or cool. And I'm going to apply it with my lovely eyeshadow brush number 7. Pam wanted quite a natural look, so this is going to be, it's going to be nice. It's going to be very, very natural, but will still give her eyes some definition. Definitely something that you can easily wear in the day, and you can ramp it up a little bit for night if you want to, with a slightly different accent colour. That's what I sometimes do. I keep my day makeup and just maybe put a slightly darker socket line colour on at night, maybe a slightly darker eyeliner. But you don't need to start all over again. I haven't always got time for that. Putting eyeshadow on with a brush makes such a difference, and blending well makes such a difference to any eye makeup application. Sponges just don't work so well, so it's definitely worth investing in a couple of brushes if you can, because it makes the job so much easier, and you are then your own makeup artist. You are then a professional, and you will get a professional look, and you'll be able to blend colours seamlessly together, which is much, much harder if you haven't got the tools to do that with. And brushes last for years. We've got a lovely brush cleaner as well, so you can keep your brushes in really tip-top condition. So the second colour that I'm going to use is into, literally, and just above Pam's socket line, just to bring that forward a little bit. And I'm going to use our beautiful warm brown that is Cocoa, this one, which is a really nice shade. Close your eye for me. Lovely, thank you. So I'm just bringing it to just above the socket line. And I'm using my smaller eyeshadow brush for this one. So this is our brush number 9, which just allows for slightly more precise placement of eyeshadow, whereas the brush number 7 is brilliant for putting more eyeshadow on and also for blending. So the two together make for a perfect duo for your eyeshadow. These eyeshadows are shimmer free, they're matte, so they're very, very gentle and very, very forgiving and kind to older eyes. As we get older, our eyes tend to be a little bit more lined and a little bit looser, so it's quite nice to be able to, so if they are loose, just sort of press rather than doing a sort of a swiping motion into the skin, so you're not dragging at the skin. So that's the sort of effect. I'm creating a bit of a shape which I can then blend out. So what I'm going to do now is just to blend out that kind of corner bit, just so that it just in, and I'm blending it out to in, just so that we don't drag it down your face. It's very easy to blend it that way. You don't want to do that. You want to blend it in the same way exactly that you put in with the first brush that I use, which is brush number 7, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit fluffier, so it allows softness. If ever you think I've put too much on as well, or it's too dark, just take a little wash of either the powder, ordinary translucent powder, or the cream eyeshadow, and just sort of go over as well. Or you can use a sponge. I sometimes use a sponge, and that can always just soften things over if you think, oh, it's gone too dark. So there's always ways if you put too much on just to soften it. But blend, blend, blend. That's the secret with eye makeup. I'm now going to add some extra definition to Pam's eyes using our beautiful soft eyeliners. And I'm going to use dark brown on the top, but I'm going to use warm taupe on the bottom, which is a little bit lighter, a little bit softer. A lot of women are frightened of using eyeliner when they get to a certain age because it is tricky, it takes a little bit of practice, but if you've got a soft eyeliner and you literally press it into the base of the lashes, I go to the very last eyelash and work my way inwards, just lifting very slightly at that outer edge. All it does is it creates that little bit of volume to your eyelashes, which as we get older, I think we actually need quite often. Our eyelashes become a little bit more sparse, a little bit lighter. So this can just give them back that bit of definition. You don't want a gap, you want to go right on to the base of the lashes. Some ladies like to put it actually on the upper tight line as well. I quite like just to put it on the base of the lashes. I'm now going to set that particular eyeliner using the same brown that we have just used in Pam's socket line. So this is Cocoa. I could have used a dark brown, I could have used chocolate, but I'm trying to keep this quite a soft, lightish look. So I'm using my wedge brush number 8 and a little bit of the Cocoa. And I'm just taking it up onto the brush. Just take off the excess on the back of my hand. Now I'm just going to press that into the base. So I'm just putting a little bit of colour here, just to lift everything lifted upwards. As we get older, everything starts to come down. It's just, that's gravity. So if you can lift everything slightly with eye makeup, with blusher, it just adds to a lovely lifted look. So what we're going to do now is use a slightly different colour. As I said, I'm going to use warm taupe underneath the base of Pam's lashes, just to create a little bit of colour, but not quite as strong as with the dark brown. So really lovely colour, it suits everybody. And if you're a bit worried about eyeliner, but you just want to try one, warm taupe or the soft grey, they're both really nice, gentle colours that will just give you that little bit of definition without being too strong. Lovely. So I make it slightly wider on the outer edge, and then I just taper it in, taking the pressure off the pencil as I get towards the middle so that it tapers. So it's slightly, you want to elongate everything by... I'm still going to set that as I did on the top with the cocoa, which is again is a nice, not too dark, and it will just soften the effect and hold it in place. And as I said, if you want extra protection, putting a little bit of translucent powder underneath can also just hold the eyeliner in place. So I'm going to add some mascara now, and I'm going to use, keeping with the sort of the brown theme, I'm going to use Live Lash Mascara in brown. I'm going to use a waterproof one again, just to keep it in place, but there's brown non-waterproof as well. What I like to do is just wiggle into the base of the lashes. We've got beautiful long eyelashes, wow. Often as we get older, our lashes just get much fairer and you can't see the tips of them. So a little bit of mascara can make such a difference to somebody's framing of the eyes. Just like Bring Back Brow, which we're going to do in a moment, frames the whole eye. Mascara frames the actual sort of the iris and the pupil. If you want to, you can use a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes, although if you've got eyeliner on, you might not need to. But I'm just going to put just a little bit, not too much, just on those outer ones. Again, that's a purely personal preference. What I'm going to use now is Instant Bright Highlight. And I'm going to use this underneath Pam's brows and just on her cheekbones. So I'm just going to put a little bit just underneath the highest part of Pam's brows, just before we do the Bring Back Brow. You can do it before or afterwards. I think with Carol I did it afterwards, so I thought we'll do a different application on Pam just to show you. It doesn't really matter. A bit of highlighter, and then while I've got it out, just a little bit on your cheekbone and just tap that in. This is a beautiful product on older skin. So it's a highlighter that just brings things forward. Light brings things forward and dark pushes back. So you can put a little stripe if you want to, just down your nose, and just create that little bit of light on the nose. You can use it if you haven't actually got any frown lines. I've got frown lines, so I put it into my frown lines because that will just bring them forward. You can put a little bit here. You can put sometimes a little bit above the brows, actually works quite well. And you can also use a little bit on your Cupid's bow, just to bring that forward. Really nice in photos, just to bring that little bit of light forward. So Pam has got brows, but she wants a little bit of extra definition. So I'm going to use Bring Back Brow Shape in shade Blonde, which will be really, really flattering to Pam's colouring. So you shake it. First thing I'm going to do actually is to just smooth out her brow hair with my spoolie brush, just to make sure that everything is sitting nicely in place. It is actually a paint, so you just need to be very careful when you take it out. It's a very small brush, a very fine paintbrush, so you can actually fill in individual hairs, or if you've got just gaps in your brows. As we get older, we get gaps in our brows, or often we lose the very end of our brows. Who knows where it goes, but we lose the end of our brows. And now I'm doing little feathery strokes. Slightly more upwards in the centre because that's the way that the hair naturally grows. I'm just making sure it comes properly, just making it very fine, a fine little tail at the end. And this is a waterproof product, so it's really, really good because it lasts all day until you take your makeup off with eye makeup remover. And you don't need to worry once you put it on, just little feathery strokes. The secret to the product is to use the spoolie brush, which is our brush number 6, afterwards as well as before to soften it. So you're just literally brushing spoolie brush through the product just to soften the whole effect. I'm now going to give Pam a little bit of colour in her face before we do her lips, and I'm going to use our beautiful blusher in Peach Cream, which is this one. It's a cream blusher that turns into a silky powder, so it has the benefit of both, because sometimes if you just use a cream blusher it will sink into the skin. If you just use a powder blusher, sometimes it sits on the skin, whereas this one does both. It's just brilliant for older skin. So we're going to use Peach Cream, and I might just put a hint of Desert Rose over the top because we'll see how we get on with this one. That's nice. Well, that's nice. Peach Cream's got a tiny bit of pink in it. It looks good on both warm and cool colouring, as does Desert Rose. So I tend to put it on with my finger and sweep it upwards just to under where I put the Instant Bright highlight. As we get older, we want everything upwards, as I said earlier. So bringing that up with my finger and then just blending it with a blusher brush. I think a tiny, tiny bit of Desert Rose as well. Just no reason why you can't mix colours. I'm a great believer in getting personalised makeup by mixing. And I sometimes wear Peach Cream, and when I've got a bit more colour, I often wear Desert Rose, so I kind of do the two, and sometimes I do the two together, which is what I'm just doing now, which I think will be really pretty. I'm going to use just a little bit of bronzer. So this is our lovely summer enduring bronze. I'm going to use my big powder brush just to give a little bit of warmth. So I'm putting a little bit just on her forehead, a little bit on her temples. I'm going to do a little 3 shape. That's a nice way to just easily do it. A bit of bronzer in a nice little 3. This bronzer you can use like a contour powder as well, although it looks scarily orange, you don't look like you've been tangoed when you put it on, so it's really good. A little bit on the neck area, décolletage sometimes, just gives you that little bit of extra glow, which is nice as we're approaching cooler weather. It's nice to give yourself that little bit of extra warmth. So to finish the look, to create balance, we've done eyes, we've done cheeks, we need to do lips. Makeup is about balance. So I'm going to use our beautiful lip liner in Roseberry, and then I'm going to use a really pretty colour that I think will look really nice. It's a kind of neutral, but a sort of browny neutral, which I'll come to. So Roseberry, again, is really good, warm or cool. Very pretty, quite natural colour. So just stretch slightly for me, that's it. Like that, lovely, thank you very much, Pam. I'm just going to go underneath and I'm outlining Pam's lips first with a super soft lip liner, which won't dry her lips out at all. And then I fill it in so that we've actually got a stain of colour, which will then help to just create a good base, but also if during the day Pam's lipstick starts to come off, she's then still got a stain of colour rather than a line of colour outside her lips. So I'm now going to use our gorgeous lipstick in shade Soft Cinnamon. This is one of my favourites. It's a really nice, it's a nudie sort of colour, but it's got a bit of warmth. It suits everybody. If you want a really good everyday colour, I think you will like this one. I hope you will. So I know that you, Pam, you don't wear strong lipsticks normally.
Not normally.
So it's a really pretty sort of browny pink. It's called Soft Cinnamon. I think it will go really nicely with the eyes. So we've just taken the clips out of Pam's hair and I'm going to show her the full effect now. Are you ready for this? I hope she likes her lipstick because it's stronger, I think, than she normally wears. So here we go, have a little look.
Oh, crikey. Oh, wow. No, really, truly.
You like it? Yeah? About the lips, you like the lips?
I do.
No, they're still really natural, honestly.
Really.
But I think you've got such beautiful eyes. It just made your eyes just sparkle as well. So thank you so much for being such an amazing model. I've had 2 amazing models, so thank you. You were just beautiful, beautiful.
Just a delightful experience. It
Oh,
really is.
thank you.
Really,
Thank
very
you.
special.
Thank you. So we have finished now. I have finished Pam's makeover. And we've got our 2 amazing friends, Pam and Carol, who won their competition. And I just want to thank you both for being such amazing, patient models with me. You are stunning, absolutely stunning. You still look really, really
So
natural.
much.
But I hope you've enjoyed your
Oh,
prize.
very much. Yes, it's been so special. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
It's been amazing.
And
Yes.
if you would like to see Carol's makeover, if you follow the link below, you'll be able to see the makeover that I did on Carol as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you've got any comments, we would absolutely love to hear from you. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.